Good evening and welcome to Viking Preview. Rick Olson here in the NLWN 2 studio, and we're getting ready to bring you the Colfax Vikings as they take on the Boyceville Bulldogs from Boyceville High School. The 1-1 Vikings are coming off a disappointing 54-20 loss to the Olivestrom Cardinals last Friday, while the 2-0 Bulldogs are going to try to keep their winning streak going following their 26-7 win over the Cameron Comets. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Preview, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Colfax Vikings and the Boyceville Bulldogs. Then we'll get Coach Joe Baranek's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll take a quick look around the Dunn St. Croix Conference, and then our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game from Boyceville High School in Boyceville, Wisconsin. All that coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking Preview on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping, and I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Welcome back to Viking Preview. Tonight, the Vikings will open their Dunn St. Croix Conference schedule and try to produce a more consistent performance as they take on the 2-0 Boyceville Bulldogs. Now, last Friday, the Vikings dropped a 54-20 decision to the Olivestrom Cardinals. In that game, the Viking offense put up 322 yards, all of which were on the ground. They were led by junior running back Drew Beekner, who carried the ball 13 times for 110 yards, including this spectacular 65-yard touchdown run on the first offensive play of the game.
Puts a man in motion, they send it around the far side. Noah comes back on the counter to the near side, and he's gone! He's headed for the touchdown, Drew Beekner! First offensive play of the game. A 65-yard touchdown run for Drew Beekner.
Yeah, went between the guard and the tackle on the left side. Everybody bit inside for Cardinals. And
yeah, yours truly bit inside too, and they came back with the counter.
He was followed by Colton Hoffman, who put up 65 yards on 6 carries, including a touchdown. Now, defensively, the Vikings were led by Matt Dockel and Christian Ebert, who each had 7 tackles. Grant Paulus, Eli Ralph, and Orrin Nichols each added 5 tackles to the effort. The Bulldogs are currently riding a 2-game winning streak following their 26-7 victory over the Cameron Comets last Friday. Now, in that game, Boyceville put up 356 yards of total offense, with 326 yards on the ground. The rushing attack was led by senior running back Nick Olson, who had 190 yards on 15 carries. He was assisted by Zach Hellendrung and Brendan Romhild, who combined for an additional 133 yards rushing. Now, so far on the season, leading the way on the ground for the Bulldogs is Olson, who has 225 yards on 20 carries for an average of over 11 yards per carry. Through the air, Boyceville is led by Carson Romhild, who has completed 12 of 22 attempts for 170 yards and 4 touchdowns for a quarterback rating of 119.3. Romhild's favorite targets are Caden Wold and Brandon Romhild. They each have 4 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Now, leading the way for the Bulldogs defensively is Zach Hellendrung, who has 12 total tackles, including 2 tackles for loss. He is followed by Peter Wielden, who has 11 tackles, including 1 TFL, and Brandon Romhild, who has 10 tackles with 2 TFLs. Now, so far this season, the Vikings are being led on the ground by Drew Beekner, who has 177 yards on 26 carries for an average of nearly 7 yards per carry. The Viking passing attack is struggling to get going with 2 completions in 10 attempts so far this season. Defensively, the Vikings are being led by Grant Paulus, who has 12 total tackles. Cade Anderson has picked up 10 tackles, including 6 tackles for loss. Now, coming up next, I caught up with Coach Joe Brannick at practice a little bit earlier this week, and we'll get his perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Then our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game from Boyceville High School. Now, that's all coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking Preview on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
My dad was a farmer. The guy was bigger than life. He wasn't someone that liked to show his emotion or liked to show when he was struggling, but we all struggle. I want to show emotion to my kids. It's something that brings me so much joy, and I want them to see me working through things. Allow your kids to know that it's okay to struggle, that even dad doesn't know the answer sometimes, but we're going to figure it out together.
Time now for Coach's Corner, with a look at today's Viking football game from the coach's point of view. Now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking head coach Joe Brannick. And Coach, this week the Vikings are going to open up their Dunn St. Croix Conference schedule as they take on the Boyceville Bulldogs. But first we need to look at last week's game with the Oliva-Strum Cardinals, where the Vikings opened strong, only to drop a 54-20 decision to the Cardinals. Your comments about that game?
Yeah, maybe you'll figure after a strong start that we come out firing on all cylinders. But credit to Oliva-Strum, they had a good game plan coming in and executed very well, better than we did. So at the end of the day, it's back to the drawing board, and we'll come back stronger this week, hopefully.
Now, in that game, the Vikings opened the game with a 65-yard touchdown run by Drew Buechner and then relied on the ground game to move the ball. Now, how critical is it for the Vikings to at least get the passing attack going in order to keep defenses honest?
Yeah, very important. Like you said, keeping them honest is kind of what we're all about. We run to set up a pass around here, and that's kind of what the if-then chart says. If we're getting over-aggressive defenses like we were getting on Friday night, we need to be able to execute a pass over the top just to keep them honest.
But to do that, you got to complete one or two.
Correct, yeah. That is the goal going into every contest. So, yeah, like I said, we need some more practice at that, I guess, and we'll go after it this week.
Well, tonight the Vikings are going to take on the unbeaten Boyceville Bulldogs, who are coming off a 26-7 win over the Cameron Comets. What can you tell us about the Bulldogs?
Always a tough and physical team in Boyceville, well coached, well disciplined. So certainly we need to be sound technically in our game plan as well, and looking to hopefully knock them off this week.
Now, the Bulldogs are currently being led by Nick Olson, who's rushing for nearly 113 yards per game, and he's complemented by the passing of Carson Romhild, who has a 119.3 quarterback rating. He's made 22 pass attempts. That's not a ton, but like we were just talking, it's enough to keep a defense honest. So what adjustments do the Vikings need to make to face the Bulldogs' balanced offense?
Yeah, need to see it all week in practice. Certainly in the scout team, giving our defense some good looks, and I think that's what we're hopefully going to get from our guys this week. And again, very well coached, very well disciplined team with a good game plan. So we need to be sound in what we do this week, and certainly come in ready to go on Friday.
Now, the Bulldog defense appears to be one of their team's strengths, giving up only 39 yards per game on the ground, which is your team's strength. So what will the Vikings need to do or adjust in order to attack that Bulldog defense?
Ball security. We talk a lot about Rule 0, and that includes 0 turnovers in the game. We had 4 of them on Friday night. So left a lot of opportunities on the field coming in to week 2. Certainly looking to clean that up going into this week. I think we hold on to the football. We've got a good game plan coming in. We should be able to execute it pretty well.
Now, what's the injury situation for the Vikings? I know we had a couple players get banged up a little bit down at Oliva-Strum. How are we looking?
Certainly, hoping that we can get some of those kids back. I think, Zach Heel's got a lower leg injury, and we still got Theo Hovde kind of working on his midsection injury. Other than that, just some dings and bruises that we can handle coming into this week. Just keep an eye on those kids.
Well, thank you, Coach Brannick, for joining us today on Coach's Corner. Coming up next, more Viking Preview.
You have been tuned to Coach's Corner with a look at today's Colfax Viking game from the coach's point of view. Stay tuned. More Viking Preview is coming right up.
Welcome back to Viking Preview. Tonight we have the Vikings taking on the Boyceville Bulldogs in the conference opener for both teams. So taking a quick look around the Dunn-St. Croix Conference results from last week, in addition to the Vikings being defeated by the Olivestrom Cardinals 54-20, and the Bulldogs remaining unbeaten after beating the Cameron Comets 26-7, we find the Cadott Hornets dropping a game to the Pittsville Panthers 40-26, while the Clear Lake Warriors defeated the Webster Tigers 47-8. It was the Elmwood Plum City Wolves knocking off the Blair Taylor Wildcats 37-8, and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers defeated the Barron Bears 48-32. The Spring Valley Cardinals topped the Chautauqua Weyerhaeuser Bulldogs 43-17, and the Bangor Cardinals topped the Turtle Lake Lakers 34-20. Tonight, the Vikings look to put forth a better effort than last week and find a way for the defense to get off the field on 3 downs. It would also be positive to see a little better balance between the running game and the passing game. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs are trying to remain unbeaten and get their conference schedule off on the right foot. So it all adds up to some exciting high school football action right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Now in just a few moments, we'll send it out to our broadcast crew at Boyceville High School, and we'll have all the play-by-play action coming your way. You've been tuned to Viking Preview on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
You have been tuned to Viking Preview on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking Football.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 along with Colfax High School now bring you Colfax Viking Football. Follow the Vikings all season long as they battle their way through the Dunn-St. Croix Conference. Now it's out to the stadium for Colfax Viking Football.
We request your cooperation by supporting
and good evening, and welcome to Boyceville High School. Rick Olson here along with Dan Petchow, Ben Ryder on the camera, and we're getting ready to bring you Colfax Viking Football as they take on the unbeaten Boyceville Bulldogs. The Vikings come into the game 1-1, while the Bulldogs are 2-0. Vikings opened the season with a fairly impressive victory over the Whitehall Norsemen, and then dropped their second game 54-20 to the Olivestrom Cardinals in a game that was somewhat disappointing and hurtful in more ways than just losing the game, because the Vikings are going to have to get creative offensively tonight, because neither one of their two quarterbacks are healthy. And so they're going to have to do the best they can.
Then we get to stop by that 50-50 table for the 50-50.
Yeah, you know, that'll be the key tonight is ball control for Colfax.
So, while Dan is going up to fix our camera, and I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick time out while Dan gets this back under control. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network in NLWN.
Banking on relationships.
If you spent the summer putting off home improvement projects, don't worry, Dairy State Bank can help. Whether you're planning to add on, winterproof, or repair storm damage, we can help you with the financing. For more information, visit dairystatebank.com or give us a call today. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Dairy State Bank.
And we're back here at Boyceville High School. And I think we're getting ready for the national anthem. Looks like both teams are getting ready for player introductions and then the national anthem. And so we'll turn it over to the public address system for that. You're right this time because they always do the visitors first. They're going to do player introductions. That's why most places do it. When they come running out on the field, they'll announce the team. They'll come running out on the field, just continue to pan over to where they're holding up the banner.
Join America. We invite all who are able to please stand. Remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem. It's time for our starting lineups. Beginning with the visiting Vikings from Colfax. They would like to be introduced as a team. Please welcome the Vikings. They're coached by Joe Blank, assisted by Chad Evenson, Gideon St. Aubin, and Jacob Stanky.
Now over to them. Zoom in. Zoom in steadier if you can. It's not push, push, push. It's hold the button. Yeah, but you don't have to hold it hard.
welcome your 2023 Boyceville Bulldogs! The Dogs are coached by Michael Rono, assisted by Jamie Olsen.
And Dan,
Steve Olsen,
one of the things that we did that is very unusual is we caught the coin toss. And Boyceville won the toss. They deferred their choice to the second half. Colfax chose to receive. They'll be going from left to right. So the starting offense for the Vikings, Dan.
Yeah, here's the starters for the Colfax. They're going to go with number 3, Eli Ralph. Number 4, Grayson Decker. Number 6, Drew Beekner. Number 10, Ryan Nichols. Number 11, Colton Hoffman. Number 22, Kate Anderson. Number 53, Grant Paulus. 54, Drake Knudsen. Number 66, Cameron Merlina. Number 70, Christian Ebert. Number 72, Grant Cook for the Boyceville Bulldogs.
We'll get the Bulldogs.
Okay.
We'll get the Bulldogs when they go on offense. Getting ready to kick the ball. He didn't quite turn far enough.
Back to receive the kick for the Vikings.
Is Zach Hellendrung, I think.
For the Bulldogs, Zach Hellendrung.
And it is Hellendrung. And the kick comes down at about the 22-yard line. Picked up there and moving it across the 30 to about the 32-yard line is Austin Peterson. And the Vikings will take over 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, the main thing of this first drive for Colfax is they got to make sure they control that ball and try not to turn it over. They're going to be got some new ideas here without a quarterback.
Playing at quarterback in that position tonight is Drew Beekner, but it's more of a wildcat type situation for the Vikings.
Yeah,
Cameron Molina at center.
We saw him last week a little bit.
They put Anderson in motion, give it to Anderson on the jet sweep, and he ran into his own man and got taken down in the backfield back at about the 25-yard line.
Anderson on the carry, tackled by Rydell.
Rydell and rolled on the tackle for Boyceville.
2nd and 15.
They're going to mark it at the 27, so it is a loss of 5. 2nd down, 15. They put Nichols in motion. He lines up over on the right side. Now Anderson goes in motion. They hand it to Anderson trying to come around the right end, and it's sealed up real tight on that right side that time by Owen Rydell.
Anderson on the carry, tackled behind the line by Rydell and Hellendrun.
He's back around the 20-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 21-yard
line.
3rd down and 19 for the Vikings. They're going the wrong way, Dan.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they make some adjustments here next
Well, one of
series.
the things I've noticed about Anderson on that jet sweep is he's bound and determined to get around the end rather than cutting up and getting what he can. They fake the jet sweep. Beekner keeps it himself, and he gained about a yard, maybe 2. It's going to bring up 4th down for the Vikings.
Devin Halama on the tackle for the Bulldogs.
Going to bring a 4th and long for the Vikings at their own 24-yard line.
So it's going to be 4th down and about 18.
Correction, Kirshner on the tackle.
And the kick comes down. Hoffman's kick comes down and tackled immediately right at the 50-yard line. Nick Olson on the return. He got hit immediately, though.
Yeah, Grayson Decker.
Grayson Decker's kind of an interesting story, and we're going to hear more about that at halftime because he is our Viking profile today. But he played some ball in middle school, but he's a senior and has not played in high school until this year. Well, he was in the right place at the right time that time.
Yeah, found his way through the line.
Bulldogs come up to the line of scrimmage. Carson Romehild under center. Throws it out into the left flat. That's Wold with it. He's across the 40 down to the 30 and run out of bounds.
Kate Anderson pushes him out.
They're going to say he stepped out at the 36-yard line. First down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that was one of my keys to the defense for Colfax is make sure that they seal off those edges. And
they didn't that time.
Boyceville found the way.
Lining up again with Wold split to the near side. Now he switches back over to the far side. Coming over to this side is Devin Halama. We have wasps all over the place here. Romehild Braden, Romehild carrying it around the right end, gets run out of bounds about the 20-yard line. It's going to be a first down.
Out of bounds near the 20-yard line.
And they're going to say at the 24-yard line, but it's still enough for a first down.
Bulldog first down.
Devin Halama gets out there and seals off that edge for Bulldogs. Who pick up some yardage.
Bulldogs up to the line of scrimmage. Romehild under center. Keeps it himself, rolling to the left. Looking down towards the end zone. He's got Wold. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. That puts Boyceville on top 6-0.
Yeah, got beat by... Colfax got beat.
Well, it didn't take him very long.
Yeah, safeties were too shallow, and Devin got a Wold. Finds the corner.
Bulldogs up to the line. As they're going to go for two. Landon Leslie out wide to the right side and carrying it into the end zone. Nick Olson on the carry, and he gets the 2-point conversion. So the Bulldogs take an 8-0 lead over the Vikings with 9:25 to go in the first quarter. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
My character, Shazam, knows all about growing up in a family full of teenage superheroes. They're bold.
Where's everyone going?
To fight crime.
Okay. Adventurous. Shazam! There's never a dull moment. And no matter what happens, they'll always have your back. All they need is a place to grow and be themselves. And the best part is, you don't have to be a superhero to adopt a teen. Learn more about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward.
And Peterson.
Back here at Boyceville High School. Vikings set to return the kickoff after the Bulldogs open up an 8-0 lead. Beekner and Peterson back deep for the Vikings. And line drive kick. It's past Beekner. Rolls down to about the 3. Beekner picks it up. He's out across the 10. He's met there and taken down at maybe the 11-yard line. And that's where the Vikings take over, 1st and 10.
On the return for the Vikings to the 11-yard line, tackled by J.J. Kushner. Vikings take over 1st and 10.
So what's going to happen for the Vikings is they're going to have to do a better job of reading their blocks. That's one of the things that they weren't doing much of on that first attempted drive.
Yeah, Boyceville found their way into the backfield all 4 downs.
Bad snap, fallen on by Anderson at about the 9-yard line. It's going to be a loss of a couple.
Loss of a couple. Ball spotted about the 10-yard line.
They're going to mark it inside the 10. 2nd down and a long 12. They put Anderson in motion. Beekner keeps it himself, goes up the middle, gets out across the 10 to about the 11 or 12-yard line. And they're going to say he got back to the original line of scrimmage, so 3rd down and 10. Vikings come up to the line. They put Anderson in motion. Beekner keeps it himself. They got hung up by the ankle in the backfield, held him up just enough, tackle for no gain. Actually, it's going to be a loss of about a yard. 4th and 11.
Loss of 1 on the play, 4th and 11.
Hoffman back in punt formation, takes a snap, gets a line drive kick away. Olsen with it at the 45. He's down to the 40, to the 35, cuts to the left side, taken down at, he's still on his feet, and taken down finally at about the 15-yard line.
For the Bulldogs.
Yeah, he sifted his way through the line.
I thought they had him back about the 25, and somehow he eluded that tackle.
10, Boyceville in the red zone.
So it's 1st and 10. Boyceville threatening with 7:26 to go in the first quarter. And they marked it right on the 15-yard line. Carson Romehild at quarterback. Devin Halema in the backfield along with Nick Olsen. Romehild looking out into the flat, throwing it, falls incomplete. It was intended for Halema, and he overthrew it a little. He was under some pressure.
Yeah, Colt Hoffman got it in his face.
Second down, 10. Bulldogs at the line. Wide receiver split out wide to the right. Give to Olsen coming around the left side. He avoids one tackle. He cuts to the left and moves into the end zone for a touchdown.
For the Bulldog touchdown.
Yeah. Colton Hoffman had the first shot there in the backfield. Just missed him.
So that makes the score Boyceville 14 and the Vikings nothing. Bulldogs going to go for 2 again. Romehill looking out onto the right side. Pass is complete in the end zone for the 2-point conversion, making the score. Boyceville 16, Vikings nothing, with 7:15 to go in the quarter, and you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered it. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Coming up on Friday, September 8th, the Colfax Vikings will host the Spring Valley Cardinals from Colfax High School. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, September 8th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Back here at Boyceville, as the Bulldogs are ready to kick off to the Vikings. Hellendrung to do the kicking. And again, Peterson and Beekner back deep for the Vikings. Kick comes down to Beekner, picks it up cleanly this time at the 10. He's out to the 20, tries to cut to his left. He's still on his feet, out across 25, ball's loose, and fallen on by the Vikings at about the 32-yard line.
Beekner on the return. There's a fumble, but recovered by the Vikings.
72.
Grant Cook on the recovery.
And 10 at their own 31-yard line.
So first down, 10 yards to go for the Vikings without being in the shadow of their own end zone. Vikings come up to the line. Nichols split out wide to the right. Anderson, the fake jet sweep, and Beekner taken down in the backfield.
Yeah, Peter Whelan wasn't fooled on that one.
Beekner on the quarterback keeper.
And they evidently know that that play is coming.
Loss of 4, second and 14.
Second down, and, well, looks like they've got it at about the 28-yard line. So, second and 4. 14. I was only off by 1, the one in front of the 4.
There's just that little stutter in your voice. 14.
Beekner keeps it himself, gets it back out to about the 30-yard line.
Drew Beekner on the carry, tackled by a pack of dogs. Short game.
And he got 2, so it's 3rd and 12.
At the 30-yard line of the Vikings.
Yeah, I'd like to see. We saw a little bit last week. Beekner and Colton Hoffman connected a couple times, and hope that somewhere along the line of this game that we see a connection.
Beekner puts Anderson in motion. Takes it, he's dropping back, throws a screen pass out to the right side. Hoffman with it. He gets it out across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and about 6.
Yeah, we saw this last week. I don't know, they just got this thing between them. They know right where each other is, and they can pick up some yardage. That will stretch the field now.
Hoffman dropping back in pump formation. Back deep for Boyceville is Caden Wold. He's being joined by Nick Olson. Snap. Hoffman gets the kick away straight up in the air and goes out of bounds on the Bulldog sideline. And let's see where they end up marking it. It's going to be a very short kick.
Spotted.
He's still walking.
And he's across the 45. That stops at the 43-yard line.
44-yard line.
So 1st and 10 at the 43 for Boyceville.
10 with 5:03 left in the first quarter. Make sure you stick around at halftime as we'll have a performance by the Boyceville High School dance team.
Boyceville up to the line of scrimmage. Halama, oh, check that, that's not Halama. That's Wold split out to the near side. Halama out to the far side. Romehild in the pistol. Flanked by two running backs. Gives it straight up the middle. This is Halama. And he gets it across the 40 to about the 39-yard line.
Yeah, tripped up by number 3, Eli Ralph for the Vikings.
Gain of 5. 2nd and 5.
Check that. That might have been Hellendrung.
26.
Yeah, that was Hellendrung on that carry. So 2nd down 5. Hellendrung and Olsen in the backfield. Halama split wide right. Dropping back, looking for Wold. Now looks for Halama down the sideline. And pass is almost caught by Halama. It's incomplete.
Fastball is incomplete, intended for Braden Romehild. 3rd.
Yeah, I think Austin Peterson, he didn't touch anything, but I think his hand kind of just got in the view of the receiver.
I think he thought he just didn't get quite deep enough because he had an idea on it. 3rd down 5. Give to Olsen. Up the middle, he's still on his feet. He's in the open and gets taken down at the 25-yard line. It's enough for a first down for the Bulldogs.
Nick Olsen on the carry.
Number 22, Kate Anderson on the tackle for
Nick Olsen has already rushed for a whole mess of yards this year.
Ball spotted at the 25-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 25-yard line. Comes into the game with 225 yards rushing. He's averaging 112 per game. And he's added a few to that tonight. Romehill looking on the quick slant. He's got Wold. Wold spins and at the 15 gets down to the 10. They're going to mark it right at the 10-yard line.
Tackled by Nichols and Beekner. Result of the play is a Bulldog first down.
And they're going to mark it just inside the 10 at about the 9-yard line.
Will be
so 1st and goal.
Yeah, Caden Wold's finding the open spots right now.
Wold splitting out wide to the right. Over on the left side is Landon Leslie. Romehill drops back, looks over to the right side. He's got Olsen in the right flat. Olsen still on his feet and into the end zone.
Romehill pass complete to Nick Olsen for a Bulldog touchdown.
Yeah, they did that screen pass. Got Colfax kind of spread out and found his way in.
So that makes the score Bulldogs 22 and the Vikings nothing. We're still in the first quarter. So far the Vikings haven't shown any sign of being able to stop the Bulldogs. Every time they get in trouble, they give it to Nick Olsen. He gets a bunch.
Yeah, and then you bite inside and then they go outside and Caden Wold.
Split out to the near side is Zach Kirsten. give to Hellendrung, takes it into the end zone for the 2-point conversion, and it makes it Boyceville Bulldogs 24 and the Vikings nothing with 2:51 to go in the first quarter. And you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We will be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV by calling 715-563-1749.
Well, we're back here at Boyceville, and the Vikings have dug themselves a pretty deep hole here in the first quarter, trailing the Bulldogs 24-0. 2:51 to go. Again, we have Peterson and Beekner back deep. Hellendrung to kick off.
Isaiah Romero.
Oh, check that. That's a different kicker. Isaiah Romero is kicking away. Comes up a little bit short, taken by Anderson at the 25. He's on his feet out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line where he's finally taken down.
Anderson on return for the Vikings.
And Rydell on the tackle.
Be first down for Colfax at their own 33-yard line.
So 1st and 10, and believe it or not, this is the best field position the Vikings have had.
Yeah, you know, in that last series, we did start to see them kind of open up the playbook a little bit. They even got a pass in there, so maybe that'll hopefully it'll spread out the Boyceville defense a little bit.
And the Bulldogs still are loading the box. Anderson fake the handoff to him, and Beekner keeps it himself, gets it out across the 35. Gain of about 2.
On the carry, tackle.
2nd down 8.
Rydell, Huff, and Hellendrung. 2nd and 8.
Vikings have 2 receivers split out wide to the left. Beekner keeps it himself and lunges forward to about the 38-yard line.
Beekner on the carry, tackled by Braden.
That's going to make it 3rd and 5.
Ball spotted at the 38-yard line brings a 3rd and 5 for the Vikings.
Inside 2 minutes remaining in the quarter. Beekner tries to throw it. It gets batted in the air and intercepted. Taken towards the end zone. Owen Rydell with a pick 6.
Devin Halama with the block. Basketball move there.
So that makes it 30-0. Just when you thought things couldn't get much worse for the Vikings, that happens. Ball batted in the air, and Rydell came down with it, and into the end zone he went.
Yeah, Beekner did a little pump fake there and That got the ball for Boyceville in the air for the block.
Throw into the end zone, complete to Landon Leslie. And that makes it Boyceville 32 and the Vikings nothing on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform in attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Back here at Boyceville. Minute 26 to go in the first quarter. Vikings trailing the Bulldogs 32-0. Here's the approach and the kick. It's a short one. Coming down to Peterson at about the 22-yard line. He gets it out to about the 28-yard line where he's knocked backwards.
Biegner on the return.
Number 71 on the tackle, Parker Combs.
First and 10 for the
First and
Vikings.
10 for the Vikings at the, they're going to mark it
At the
forward
30-yard
progress
line.
right on the 30, I believe. So first and 10 for the Vikings. Biegner keeps it himself, trying the left side. He finds an opening. He gets a first down. He gets it out across the 45-yard line, and it's a first down for the Vikings at the 47.
Yeah, nothing fancy there.
On the
Just
carry, tackled by Kaiser.
left side of the line and just kept pounding.
He does the fake handoff
76-yard
to
line, first and 10
Anderson
for
coming
Colfax.
across, and then just follows him, and
Timeout.
Biegner reads
Hold
the
on.
block.
Well, we got a timeout.
And we do have a timeout on the field. So with the score 32-0, Bulldogs leading the Vikings with 1:13 to go. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
First and 10 for the Vikings at their own 46-yard line. Anderson goes in motion. Biegner keeps it himself. He breaks through the initial tackle and gets across the 50 and into Boyceville territory at the 48-yard line. It's a gain of about 6 yards.
Yeah, good push by the front four there for Colfax.
They're going to need a lot of that tonight. They come up to the line. Anderson in motion. This time they give it to Anderson. Tries to get the corner turned on the right side, and he's hauled down from behind. Loss of about a yard on the play.
Owen Rydell on the tackle for Boyceville.
It's going to make it 3rd and about 5.
A 3rd and 6 for the Vikings at the 49.
So 3rd and 5. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. So we've played one with the Bulldogs on top 32-0 over the Vikings. As you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. As we're getting ready to start the second quarter with the Bulldogs on top 32-0. Okay, Dan, how do you solve this problem for the Vikings?
I think they got to go back to a little more Colton Hoffman. They got him out on that one play, and he picked up yardage right away. He's there. And he just got to be a little more in the playbook, I think.
And it'd be nice if they've got the right idea with that jet sweep to Anderson, but he's got to be not afraid to turn it up and just put his nose in there and get what he can rather than try to beat him to the outside, because Boyceville's not getting beaten to the outside.
Yeah, Boyceville is just getting right in the backfield right away, and there's just nothing there for Colfax, so they're just going to have to run it right up the A gap and just either pound it there or see if they get a pass out to Colton. Beekner's got the arm.
3rd down 5 for the Vikings. Beekner keeps it himself, breaks one tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, brings up 4th and 5.
Beekner on the carry, tackled by Hollendron and Olsen.
Be curious to see what the Vikings decide to do here. Looks to me like they may actually go for it here. They did give Beekner a gain of about a yard. So it's 4th and 4.
Yeah, if they can pick this up, this will be a big momentum.
And they come up to the line of scrimmage. Beekner in the shotgun, puts Anderson in motion. Fakes the handoff, quick dump over the middle. He's got a receiver, and he takes it down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. It looks like Ryan Nichols.
Yeah,
that's Hoffman.
Number 10.
Hard to tell the difference between a 10 and 11 out there.
Was it Hoffman or Nichols?
No, I think it was Nichols.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yep. Yeah, Hoffman and Nichols are big targets.
So 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 38-yard line of the Bulldogs. Now this actually qualifies as a drive the Vikings are putting together. Anderson in motion. Beekner fakes a handoff, takes it off tackle, and on the right side gets it down to about the 36-yard line. Gain of a couple.
Gain of a couple.
Second down, 8.
Yeah, that pass made Boyceville kind of spread out a little bit, and there was some gaps in the middle of the field.
Vikings up to the line. 2 receivers split to the near side. Again, Beekner keeps it himself and got to the 40.
Tackled for a loss by Wielden.
Yeah, Peter Wielden wasn't fooled by that play.
3rd and long at the 40-yard line for the Vikings.
So 3rd down and a long 11. They're at the Bulldog 40. Vikings up to the line. They put Anderson in motion. Beekner keeps it. He was surrounded by 3 people as soon as he decided to keep it.
Yeah, that was number 11 on
And he loses another yard. 4th down and 13.
4th and 12.
I think we got somebody in the backfield, maybe.
Yeah, that was Liam McCulloch in the backfield. He's heading out now. Vikings in punt formation. Snap. And they're going to say he went down to a knee to pick up the ball.
Yeah, we saw that last week, too.
And it looked like he tried really hard to keep his knee from touching the ground, but it didn't happen. So he's down, and once again the Bulldogs will start with the ball in Viking territory at the Viking 48. 1st down.
That Colfax snapper has to make sure that he gets it up high enough.
Without going over his head.
Right, because Colton's a tall kid.
So Bulldogs at the line of scrimmage. Splitting out on the far side is Braden Romehill. He goes in motion. They fake the handoff. Carson Romehill tosses it out to Braden Romehill on the right side, and he's got some blockers and running in room in front of him. He's down to the 25 and knocked out at about the 22-yard line.
For a big game down to the Viking 22-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Down.
You know, I'm probably saying Colton's name a lot tonight, but he was the first one in the backfield, and he was the first one to get all the way down to get the tackle. Good job by the senior.
Defensive end there. And he's coming from the far side to do that, too.
Yeah, he's going to have to be one of the workhorses on the team this year.
Bulldogs at the line. Carson Romehill takes it, drops back to throw. Looking downfield, chased out of the pocket on the left side. Keeps it himself. He heads upfield, stops, goes, keeps working back around to the right, and taken down at about the 15-yard line.
Tackled.
We have a Viking getting up very slowly.
I don't know.
And I can't tell, but I think it might be Eli Ralph.
I think it's Colton Hoffman.
Single-digit number, I thought. Looked like a 3 on the TV numbers on the top of their shoulder pads.
No worse for wear.
Oh, you're right. It was Colton Hoffman. He gets up. He's going to have to go out for a play.
I think more he was just gassed. You know, he had 3-4 plays there in a row that were long runs, and he doesn't look any worse for wear.
So Colton Hoffman goes off to take a breather. Well, and he's been out there both on offense and defense. He hasn't had a break yet. Vikings coming back out on the field. 7 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the first half. Boyceville Bulldogs leading the Vikings 32-0. And they say wind the clock. Carson Romehild steps in under center. Olsen in the backfield with Hellendrung. Romehild keeps it, gives it to Braden Romehild, and he rumbles down to inside the 10-yard line.
Tackled on the play by Beekner. Result of the run is a Bulldog first
and he's going to be first and goal at about the 8-yard line.
Yeah, Keith Anderson on the tackle. You know, I'm starting to see, this is what, our third game already, and starting to see which players are kind of stepping it up for Colfax, and maybe some of the other guys will start following that lead. Keith Anderson and Colton and Cameron Molina, Drew Beekner. Keith Anderson was another one, came from a long ways there to get that tackle.
Bulldogs at the line. Wold is split to the near side. Braden Romehild to the far side. Carson Romehild looking for Wold over in the flat, and he overthrew him right near the goal line. He was being covered by Ryan Nichols.
Yeah, that was good coverage there by Nichols.
It's going to bring up second down from the 8-yard line. Boyceville definitely taking their time. Same two backs in the backfield. They put a man in motion, and we have motion up front, and we have a false start being called against Boyceville. That's going to put it back at about the 13-yard line.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Will bring second and goal.
So it'll be second and goal from the 13.
12-yard line.
Romehild under center. Pitches to Hellendrung going around the left side. Gets met at the corner and taken down.
Zach Hellendrung on the carry.
Just outside the 5-yard line.
Tackled by Beekner.
Looks like they're going to put it at about the 6.
Third and goal for the Dogs.
Drew Beekner on the tackle for Colfax.
From the 7-yard line.
So they put it on the 7. Third and goal. Big couple plays here for the Vikings. I know they'd like to have Boyceville have the ball and not score. Quick pitch to Romehild going around the right side and into the end zone for a Boyceville touchdown.
Bulldog touchdown!
Braden Romehild with the run.
Yeah, that little duo between Hellendrung and Romehild.
So that makes it 38-0. For those of you who are curious, running time won't happen until the second half. .458 to go in the first half. Bulldogs up to the line. Helen Drung lined up on the right. Olsen on the left. Pitch to Olsen going around the left end, and he takes it close, and he's into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Making the score, Boyceville 40, Vikings nothing with 4:58 to go in the first half. And you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV, or 2.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
We're back here at Boyceville High School. And the Bulldogs have opened up a pretty substantial 40-0 lead in the latter part of the second quarter. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the half. Isaiah Romero kicking off. Peterson and Beekner back deep for the Vikings. Romero approaches, he kicks it. It's going to come down to Beekner at the 15-yard line. He's out across the 25 and gets out to about the 30. Where he finally goes down.
First on the tackle. Colfax takes over 1st and 10. At the 30-yard line. Again, reminder to get those 50-50 tickets. The drawing will be at halftime. And at halftime, we'll have a performance by the Boyceville.
The referee, Mike Karnas, was signaling run the clock. So I'm wondering if they haven't put us in running time already. That's got to be by agreement of both coaches if it's before the second half. Beekner throws it over the middle. He's got a man and taken down. That's a Ryan Nichols outside the 40 to the 41-yard line. First down for the Vikings.
Down at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Is I think that, Beekner has some targets out there that he can get it down the field. They can pick up some good yards.
Well, the other thing is that Boyceville has loaded the box, and so if those tall receivers slide in behind the linebackers, it gives them a little bit of room. Anderson in motion. Beekner carries it himself, gets across the 40, back to the line of scrimmage, gain of maybe a yard.
Beekner on the carry. Helen
second down 9.
Gain of about 1. 2nd and 9.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the half. Beekner brings the Vikings up to the line. Anderson goes in motion. Beekner keeps it himself, tries the left side, gets it back to the line of scrimmage, taken down there.
Beekner on the carry. Wielden on the tackle. No gain on the play. 3rd and 9.
Wielden and Braden Romehild were in on that tackle. 3rd down 9. Anderson split out wide to this side. Puts him in motion. Snap, dropped, picked up by Beekner, but by the time he picked it back up, he was swarmed under. Back at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, first to get there was number 20, Devin Halama.
4th down and, let's say 15.
Ball spotted at the 35-yard line.
So they're in punt formation. That snap came to him well. Hoffman gets the kick away. Hits the ground. Olsen lets it bounce. Vikings let it roll, and it rolls dead at the 30-yard line. So
we'll take over first.
That's where the Bulldogs will have it, 1st and 10 at their own 30.
Clock continues to run.
They must have put us into running time because this would be a dead clock time.
Yeah, it's actually pretty comfortable out here tonight.
It's a wonderful night. It's supposed to be hotter than the Dickens this weekend, but it's a beautiful evening tonight. Romehill takes a snap. Gives it to Braden Romehill, and he gets taken down in the backfield.
Who else but number 11, Colton Hoffman.
A 5, going to bring a 2nd and 15 for the Dogs.
Colton Hoffman definitely making his presence known. That could be the last play of the half. 2nd down, 15. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, we have a Viking profile. It will be Grayson Decker. And then we will have some other halftime entertainment for you. And we're going to have that coming up right after this timeout on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. As veterans, we can tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. But you've never been interested in easy. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we get to know one of this season's Colfax Viking players. And now Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Grayson Decker, who's a senior here at Colfax High School. And Grayson, we know that you play football, but are there any other activities you're involved with here?
Yes, I am a part of the D&D club as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That's not Dunkin' Donuts, is it?
No, Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, all right. I kind of thought so. But so when did you start playing football, and what kind of an experience have you had?
7th grade. Then I picked it up again senior year, figured I'd try out one last time. And then I've had a pretty good experience, I'd say. Nothing too bad.
So what's the most important thing that you've learned playing football?
Footwork.
Footwork, okay. Because you got to start at the base, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when you're not playing football or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied, including Dungeons and Dragons?
I like history. So I study that from time to time. I also work out and play video games sometimes.
Okay, very good. Got a couple rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
Which kind?
Mint.
Ooh, interesting choice. Okay. All right, burgers, brats, and hot dogs?
Burger.
What do you want on that burger?
Lettuce, give me cheese, ketchup, and some red onions.
Okay, that's a pretty common burger, but boy, oh boy, nothing beats just a plain burger, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite NFL team?
Packers.
All right, and favorite collegiate team?
Badgers.
There you go.
Against the home, never go against the home team.
Yeah. You're from Wisconsin. You got to do this, right?
Absolutely.
All right. If you had a superpower, what do you think your superpower might be?
Teleportation.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to be able to all of a sudden appear somewhere else.
Yep. Most lucrative business ideal.
Okay. Absolutely. If you have a superpower of teleportation, you've got to have a superhero name to go with that. So what's Grayson's superhero name?
Squint.
Squint. Okay. All right. Squint the teleporter. All right. We're talking with Grayson Decker here on Viking Profile. And what are your plans for after high school?
I plan on enlisting into the Air Force.
Well, very good. Thank you very much for that. How about a shout out to your family?
I'd like to thank my mother, my brother, my sister, my brother-in-law Dakota, and that's about it.
Okay. So when people come to Viking games, where are they going to find you out on the field?
I'll be wearing number 4, and I'm a second-string wide receiver.
Okay, and they get in frequently, so all right, very good. We want to thank Grayson Decker for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been tuned to Viking Profile, where we get to know one of this season's Colfax Viking players. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Now more Viking Halftime entertainment.
Here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood. Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Now back to the stadium for second half action.
And we're back here at Boyceville High School, where the Boyceville Bulldogs have a 40-0 lead over the Colfax Vikings as we're getting ready to start the second half. Both teams are back on the field getting loosened up. Let's review the scoring real quickly. It's all Bulldogs in the first half. They started on their very first possession. In fact, the Boyceville Bulldogs have not had a possession where they haven't scored. And on their first possession, it was a 15-yard pass to Caden Wold. And then a 15-yard run by Nick Olson. A 9-yard pass to Nick Olson from Carson Romhild. That was followed by a pass interception, 38-yard pass interception by Owen Rydell. A 6-yard touchdown by Braden Romhild. And I may have left something out of there.
1, 2, 3.
I think I did.
Got 5 touchdowns?
Oh, wait a minute. How many?
5.
5. Then I've got them all.
Yeah, they hope it became a blur after a while.
They've had every extra point, every 2-point conversion, so that accounts for the other 10 points that were there. But needless to say, the Viking offense has not been able to move the ball, except very late in the second quarter. And Dan, you hit the nail right on the head. They need to throw the ball over the middle to those big tight ends, and
yeah,
they have the advantage.
Every time they've done it, they've picked up good yardage, 5-6 yards at a crack. But then they go back to the Wildcat, and then they get stopped, and then they got a punt. You know, I think what I'd like to see is instead of it being pass, then handoff, do the other direction, handoff, that'll suck everybody in, then pass, and then throw it over. I think they would find that a few more spots.
To get the offense going. Tell you what, we're going to take a quick time out. Vikings will be kicking off to the Bulldogs, and you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
So we're back here at Boyceville High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, Ben Ryder on the camera, and we're getting ready for the second half of tonight's game. Vikings kicking off to the Bulldogs.
With the Vikings kicking off to the Dogs.
And looks like Drew Beekner teeing up the ball to kick off. Back deep for the Bulldogs on the far side is Owen Rydell.
Knox and Leslie.
And Landon Leslie on the near side. I can't see who's in the middle on the far side over there. And I'm looking for his name. Oh, Mark Knox is in the middle, but that's not the number we had for him.
That name brings back memories from stock car racing. Canopses were big in
Yes,
this.
I remember that. Here's the kick, and it's coming down. Picked up there by...
I don't know.
Zach Karsten.
Zach Kirsten on the return.
Kirsten gets it out across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. It'll be first down there for the Bulldogs.
Take over first.
That's kind of weird. It didn't seem like anybody wanted to pick up the ball.
And that's a free ball.
Yeah, right.
So first and 10 at the 36-yard line for the Bulldogs. Maybe just outside the 36. They come up to the line of scrimmage. Leslie split out to the near side. Handoff up the middle. And we have a whole set of different players in there right now. Rydell on the carry. New quarterback in there for the Bulldogs is Zach Kirsten. Bulldogs come up to the line. Second and 10. And the give straight up the middle again. Fighting forward across the 40 to about the 41 or 42-yard line. Ball was carried by Bialzik.
3rd and 5 for the Dogs.
Jake Bialzik on the carry. 3rd down 5. Kirsten under center. Puts a man in motion, gives it coming around the near side, turns him in. He tripped over his own man back at about the 40-yard line. That was Leslie on the carry.
Number 22, Kate Anderson in the backfield.
We're going to bring a 4th down and 7 for the Dogs.
I think this is the first 4th down situation that the Bulldogs have faced.
Yeah.
Kirsten dropping back into punt formation. Beekner back deep to receive for the Vikings. Snap and the kick. Nice spiraling kick. It's away from Beekner. Lands at about the 30. Rolls to about the 21. Beekner picks it up there. He's back out to the 25. He's out across the 30 to the 35. He's out to the 40-yard line where he's taken down. Nice return that time by Drew Beekner.
By Coates.
Yeah, Colfax gets a good field position.
Oh, excuse me. The 39-yard line.
So they're going to mark it on the 39. 1st and 10 for the Vikings at that point. Beekner takes it straight up the middle. That's Hoffman, and Hoffman's in the open, and he gets down to about the 30-yard line.
Hoffman on the carry, tackled by Kirsten.
He was taken down at the 34. It's going to be first down for the Vikings.
Yeah, good job by the Colfax line there. Seal that right side off and make a big gap for Hoffman.
They're going to put it right on the 35-yard line. Hoffman playing quarterback, it looks like. Ralph and Nichols split out wide to the far side. Anderson on the near side. Anderson goes in motion. Give to Hoffman. He goes straight up the middle, and he barrels forward to about the 32 or 33-yard line.
Hoffman on the carry.
It's going to bring up second down and a long 7.
Second and 7.
Short 8. Beekner back into the lineup now. Beekner brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Anderson in motion. Beekner fakes a handoff, takes it straight up the middle. He gets it down across the 30 to about the 29-yard line. It's going to bring up third and about 4.
Carry tackled by Jack Kirshner. Going to bring a third down and 4.
I would definitely say, Dan, this is probably 4 down territory.
Yeah, you know, they're right down there. Where are we at? The 30? Yeah, just inside the 30. Yeah, this is 4 down territory.
Beekner has him at the line, puts Anderson in motion. Fakes the handoff to Anderson, throw over the middle. He's got Nichols, and Nichols takes it down around the 22-yard line. That's going to be a Viking first down, just outside the red zone.
Yeah, just went right in the middle of the field. Stop, turn around, and it's right there.
It is a first down for the Vikings, tackled by Kirsten. Ball spotted at the 22-yard line.
Vikings bringing up to the line of scrimmage. Anderson lined up on the right side. He goes in motion. Beekner keeps it himself, takes it up the middle across the 20, down to about the 17-yard line. I think they're going to mark it on the 18.
Beekner on the carry.
Good job by Drew Beekner on that one. He kind of fumbled the snap, and the ball bounced right in his hand.
Second down and 6 for the for the Vikings.
They're going to mark it on the 19-yard line. Second about 7. Two receivers split out wide to the right. Anderson on the wing on the left. He goes in motion. This time to give to Anderson. He gets the corner turn this time. He's heading towards the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings! Cade Anderson with a 19-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings are on the board.
Man, big burst of speed there when he made the turn.
So that makes the score Boyceville 40 and the Vikings 6. Vikings going for 2. They put a man in motion. Beekner keeps it himself, going around the left side, and he's not going to get there. So Drew Beekner does not get the 2-point conversion, so the score remains Boyceville 40 and the Vikings 6, and you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Coming up on Friday, September 8th, the Colfax Vikings will host the Spring Valley Cardinals from Colfax High School. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking Preview. That's live Colfax Viking football on Friday, September 8th, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
And the kickoff goes to number 63, Zach Kirshner, and he returns it out to about the 45-yard line. Sort of those line drive kicks. Kersher stuck his hands up, and look what he found.
Yeah, bullet right into him.
They're going to mark it right on the 45. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at that point. And, well, now the clock is running. I was thinking for a minute there that the Vikings may have gotten it out of running clock by getting it down to a 34-point difference.
Maybe they do that at the end of a touchdown.
Well, that could be. And Kirsten wants to talk it over and calls timeout. Kirsten was a little confused by what he saw, wants to talk it over, and so we're going to take a timeout just as well, right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
It's getting to that time of year again. Time for the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV to present our Halloween Spooktacular 2023. Join us at 7 p.m. on Halloween night by the light of the jack-o'-lantern as we bring you some of the best in Halloween-themed old-time radio programs, including The Life of Riley, Yours Truly Johnny Dollar, Richard Diamond Private Detective, and Suspense. So join me and a friend of mine as we party hardy on our Halloween Spooktacular at 7 p.m. Halloween night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
And I know Dan's looking forward to that on Halloween night.
Yeah.
By the light of the jack-o'-lantern.
After the timeout, it's Bulldogs first.
I'll be hiding under the covers after watching those.
Your wife's there. She'll protect you. Quick pitch to the left side by the Bulldogs, and he steps out of one tackle but gets taken down right away. That was Rydell on the carry.
Grant Paulus worked his way down the line and made that tackle.
2nd down 8. Bulldogs come up to the line. Zach Kirsten stepping in under center. Receiver split both ways. Drops back, quick throw out onto the right flat, and it goes incomplete.
Kirsten's pass intended for Leslie falls incomplete.
He did one of those quick direct passes out onto the right side and threw it a little bit low.
Yep, kind of like short-armed it.
It's going to bring up 3rd down 8. Bulldogs come up to the line. Give straight up the middle, and there's nothing doing there that time. Ball was carried by Bialczyk.
Grant
and that's going to bring up 4th down.
No gain on the play, 4th down.
4th down and about 8.
Yeah, the freshman Grant Cook for Colfax. He's starting to make his name known.
We've had his name called a few times now. Bulldogs come up to the line. They're in punt formation again. Kirsten back to punt. Beekner back to receive for the Vikings. There's a snap. He gets the kick away. It's a short kick. Everybody needs to get away. It was dropped by the Vikings, and the Bulldogs fall on it, and that is a huge mistake. Grant Paulus, and there's where the inexperience of a freshman comes in. I heard players saying, get away, get away, get away, and he jumps up to try to catch the ball. Let the ball hit the ground on one of those and take it where it finishes. Because now he just turned it back to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's not your special hands team.
No, and that's a lesson he'll learn, though. Splitting out wide to the near side is J.J. Kirshner for the Bulldogs. Kirsten under center. He puts a man in motion, gives it up the middle. Decent hole that time, gets it across the 35 down to about the 33-yard line by Rydell.
Dragged down by number 10, Ryan Nichols and Hoffman.
They're going to mark it on the 34. Second down and long 2, short 3.
And
that's going to get us to the end of the third quarter with the score, the Bulldogs 40 and the Vikings 6. And you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Banking on relationships.
If you spent the summer putting off home improvement projects, don't worry, Dairy State Bank can help. Whether you're planning to add on, winterproof, or repair storm damage, we can help you with the financing. For more information, visit dairystatebank.com or give us a call today. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Dairy State Bank.
And they're playing the jump around here at Boyceville High School. The fans are jumping around. The Viking fans are jumping around. The Boyceville bench is jumping around. And tomorrow the Badgers will be jumping around as they take on Buffalo. Bulldogs second down and 2. At the Viking 34, pitch to the outside. Rydell tries to keep skirting to the outside on the left side, and he gets it down to about the 31-yard line. It's going to be enough for a first down.
Bulldog first down. Tackled by Paulus on the play by the Vikings.
Paulus and Peterson on the tackle for Colfax.
30-yard line.
So first and 10 for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs sent 2 receivers, split wide out to the right side. Kirsten throws it over to the left. It's complete. Down across the 20, inside the 20-yard line to about the 18. Rydell on the reception. Should be enough for a first down.
That good play call there by the Boyceville. Colfax was blitzing on the inside, and they just did a little flip out to the left.
First down.
And sending the 2 receivers split out wide to the near side. Took the Viking secondary with them. First and 10. And they've got it marked right on the 20. Kirsten in the pistol. Give up the middle.
Bialzik on the carry. Tackled by Laramie. Gain of 4, second and 6.
So they get it down to about the 16-yard line.
Yeah, Colfax has done a pretty good job here in the third quarter of keeping them down. Let's see if they can get another stop here.
Bulldogs at the line. Second down and 6. Give up the middle. And he's in the open and into the end zone. Rydell with the touchdown.
Bulldog touchdown.
So, that touchdown makes it 46-6. Boyceville on top. You know, Dan, every place we go has a different version of running time. There are places we've been that on a touchdown, they just keep the clock running. Here they stop it on touchdowns.
Yeah, I think they could just keep it running.
All right, Bulldogs at the line, trying for 2. And they give it up the middle, and it's not going to happen. So the score remains Boyceville 46, Vikings 6 at 9:15 remaining in the game, and you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
So the Bulldogs are getting ready to kick off to the Vikings.
A note for all your hungry spectators, currently at the concession stand, hamburgers are $2 while they
And
get up and get those burgers before the game ends. $2 hamburgers.
Kicking
at the
off
concession stand.
appears to be Isaiah Romero again. And back to receive for the Vikings is Austin Peterson and Drew Beekner. And here's the kick. It's going to come down to Beekner at the 35-yard line. He's across the 40. He's in the open. He's got one man to beat. He's across the 40. No one's going to beat him. No flags on the play. Touchdown, Vikings. Drew Beekner on the return.
Yeah, Drew Beekner still playing. Good run back.
Drew Beekner took it on the near side hash, worked his way across the field, and ended up going down the right sideline into the end zone for the touchdown. He picked that ball up right around the 25-yard line and took it 75 yards to the house. Vikings at the line of scrimmage, going for 2. They put Anderson in motion. Beekner looking for somewhere to go with it, and he gets taken down in the backfield. So, the two-point conversion is no good, and the score with 9:02 remaining, Bulldogs 46, Vikings 12 on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
Well, the Vikings answered the Boyceville touchdown with one of their own on the kickoff return. 75-yard kickoff return by Drew Beekner, who's getting the ball teed up to kick it away. Kirsten in the middle of the three in the back for Boyceville. Here's the kick, and it's coming to Rydell on the near side, and he takes it to the outside. He breaks a tackle and takes it out of bounds right about the 45 or 46-yard line.
The 45-yard line. The Bulldogs will take over first. And
They're going to mark it right about the 46, I think. No, the official's got his foot right on the 45. First and 10 at that point.
That's a good field position for Boyceville.
And the clock is running. Kirsten taking his time. Bulldogs to the line of scrimmage. They have a receiver split wide to the far side. Kirsten under center. Pitches to the far side and catching the ball, but then stumbling back to the line of scrimmage is...
Second and 11. Down by Anderson.
We don't have his name on our roster.
Number 30.
Ours goes from 28 to 32.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just going to have to say number 30. They're at the line of scrimmage. Give to the near side. This again is number 30, and he carries the ball across midfield and then gets slammed down at about the 48-yard line.
Knops on the carry. Tackled by Larry.
Knops on the carry.
Gain of 8. It'll be third down and 2 for the Dogs.
I don't know. I don't think that's Mark Knops. It might be. Bulldogs at the line. They put a man in motion, give to Knops again, and he got it to the 45-yard line. That's close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it.
By Ralph. Closer first down.
It's going to be fourth and a yard.
Good job by Ralph there to slide over and make that tackle, save the first down.
So fourth and short. Bulldogs are going to go for it here. Kirsten ducks in under center. Kirsten keeps it himself. He's got the first down and a few more. He gets it down to the 41-yard line. First down, Boyceville.
Gain of about 5. Ball spotted at the third.
Yeah, good job just to follow that center and guard and just let the workhorses follow path.
So first and 10 at the 41. Give straight up the middle that time. He's going to get a yard.
Bialzik on the carry.
Bialzik
by Anderson, gain of a yard.
With it, and boy, they did not give him a yard. Maybe a half a yard that time.
Yeah, senior number 22, Kate Anderson on the tackle for Colfax.
Second down, 9. The ball is just outside the 40. And the give to Knops.
Knops on the carry.
And he got taken down in the backfield for a loss of maybe 2.
Loss about 1. Third and 10 for the Dogs.
Let's see where they put it. It's going to be a loss of about a yard. 3rd and 11.
Yeah, Grant Cook just shed his tackle and got in the backfield right away.
Under 4 minutes remaining. Kirsten keeps it himself, goes around the left side, still on his feet, gets taken down right near a first down. He dove forward.
On the carry.
It's going to bring up 4th and about a yard.
Close to a first down.
4th down and 1.
Going to be about a yard short. 4th and 1 for the Dogs.
Boyceville on top in this one, 46-12.
Name I haven't called yet. Number 50, Brady Elmer on the tackle for Colfax.
Bulldogs at the line. Kirsten takes it himself for first down.
First down. Ball spotted at the 28-yard line of the Vikings.
Bulldogs doing exactly what they want to. Keep it on the ground. Just chew up the clock. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. Don't forget, following this game, we'll wrap things up probably pretty briefly tonight with Viking postgame. And give on the jet sweep coming around the near side and taken down was Bennett's. Or Bennett's. Bennett's is how they say it.
Tackled by Hitola, loss of 2.
Braden Hedela on the tackle. Haven't called that name out on a freshman.
I was a little confused there when they said Hedela. Which, of course, they mispronounce because everybody does. I forgot there's another one working his way through the system. Bulldogs at the line. 1 minute remaining. And the give to Knops as he's coming around the near side.
Knops on the carry, tackled by Ralph.
And he gets taken down.
No gain on the play.
Back at the 30. It's going to be a loss of a yard.
Yeah, Ralph and Cameron Molina on the tackle.
3rd and 11. That might be the last play of the game. And I believe it is. And we're waiting, and the hands are being shaken. And that'll do it. Final score, Boyceville Bulldogs 46 and the Vikings 12. And we'll be back with Viking postgame right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN 2.
You've been tuned to Colfax Viking Football, live on NLWN 2. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network in conjunction with Colfax High School, and is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction in part or in whole without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason. Thank you.
A place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Time now for Viking Post Game with a look back at today's Colfax Viking football game. And now, back out to the stadium and Viking Post Game.
Back here at Boyceville High School, final score in this one, Boyceville Bulldogs 46, Vikings 12. Dan, your initial thoughts?
Yeah, the Colfax just started off to a slow start, couldn't get anything going on the ground, and defense looked maybe a little sluggish tonight. They couldn't seal off those edges, and Boyceville took advantage of that.
And we were talking about it at halftime that it just didn't seem like the Vikings were ready to play when they got here tonight. And this Bulldog team is loaded, and they were loaded for the Vikings, and it sure showed.
Yeah, I think
scored on their first 4 possessions plus a defensive score.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and all of a sudden you're down 3 scores, and you got to try to figure it out from there, which, they had those... Colfax has that, little flashes of something happening, and then just got to convert that into touchdowns now.
So, scoring went kind of like this. Boyceville scored on a 15-yard pass to Caden Wold from Carson Romehild. Then, also in the first quarter, 15-yard run by Nick Olson. Then there was a 9-yard pass to Nick Olson from Romehild. Then there was the interception. It was a 38-yard interception by Owen Rydell. That was on a tipped ball. One of the first attempts at a pass by the Vikings, and they knocked the ball straight up in the air, and Rydell grabbed it and was uncontested all the way into the end zone. Then a 6-yard touchdown by Romehild. And that was the scoring in the first half. It was 40-0. In the second half, the Vikings did come down and score on a 19-yard run by Anderson. And right after that, though, marching right back down the field, Rydell scored on a 16-yard run for the Bulldogs. And then immediately thereafter, on the ensuing kickoff, Drew Beekner took the ball 75 yards to the house for a touchdown. So a couple of bright spots in there for the Vikings. They did show some performance in the second half, but it just wasn't going to be enough tonight.
Yeah, when you get down in 3 scores right away, that's a long road. And, Colton Hoffman, Kate Anderson, Cameron Molina, they gave it all tonight, as seniors, and it gave them those little moments, where I started to think, it's a long way, but they might make it a game, and they kind of did. So.
They made some interesting moments in the second half, let's put it that way.
Yeah, we'll take those moments.
Well, football's not the only thing happening at Colfax High School. The boys and girls cross-country teams will be running in a meet at Somerset this coming Thursday beginning at 4:30. And on Tuesday the 5th, the volleyball team will travel over to Somerset to take on the Somerset Spartans. That gets underway at 7 p.m. Also, don't forget to join us on NLWN2 right here for Colfax High School football next Friday, as the Vikings will take on the Spring Valley Cardinals. It doesn't get any easier, does it?
Yeah, we've seen that before.
Our coverage is going to begin with Viking preview at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play action. Also, this reminder that this is Labor Day weekend, and therefore there is no school on Monday. No school on Monday for the Labor Day holiday. And we at the Northern Light Webcasting Network wish for you a very enjoyable Labor Day weekend. This reminder that tonight's Colfax High School football game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of you and your pet. C&K Construction, your concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical, with quality personalized care for you and your family. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. So, for Ben Ryder on the camera, nice work again tonight, Ben. And for Dan Petchow with his insightful analysis, this is Rick Olson. That final score once again, Boyceville Bulldogs 46, Vikings 12. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
You've been tuned to Viking Postgame with a look back at today's Colfax Viking football game. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, along with Colfax High School. Check out our upcoming broadcast schedule at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com.